So now we're in the living room. The living room generally is the focal point for the Christmas tree, and in our home is for the entertaining too. But as you can see, we've got high ceilings, and I got so tired of getting these 10, 12-foot trees where the bases were so huge you could barely walk around them. So I thought, okay, this year I'm gonna put our Christmas tree on a table. So I'm cheating about 3 feet by mounting this tree on top. I just put the Christmas tree stand right on a table. I have a leopard tablecloth just to add a little more fun to it, and put a velour skirt over that so it kind of hides all the mess of everything, and put the tree on top of it. So it automatically gave us a much taller tree. I also thought, oh, do I really have to put every single ornament on it every year? And I decided this year to make it a little more monochromatic by just having the gold bulbs. They're bright, some of them are brushed, and the gold and white bulbs on it. When I finished with that, I thought, it looks like it needs a little bit more, and I was kind of missing that huge tree that I normally put up. So I went downstairs and I found my turkey feathers, just like the ones that I used on the front door, and thought, let me just try shoving some of these feathers in and see what that does. So I literally took bunches of feathers and I just tucked them in. It could not have been easier. It was so much fun. Sometimes I put 3 of them in, sometimes I put single ones in, but it made the tree look, I think it makes it look like it's gonna take off, but it also gave it a little more width. So don't think of your feather accessories as just maybe going in flower arrangements or in a wreath. Think about putting them in your tree. You don't have to have them everywhere. Now, if I was really lucky, I would have come across maybe a great peacock or some kind of bird that I could have put on the top of the tree, which would have kind of pulled in that whole feather theme. But again, as an artist, I'm trying to think, how do I do this to make it look cohesive? And I did have that old Italian angel on the top. So I thought, I'll let her stay there. Maybe next year I'll try it differently. We want to remember to introduce the red once again, because that's the punctuation color that we're using throughout the space. So I did buy a couple more of those amaryllis candle rings and put them around the bottom of the lamps here. So now you've got that red continuing from the hallway into the living room. Even though it's not on the tree, those 2 pops of color on that sideboard really work. At this time of year, I fill my dough bowls. They always have some kind of dried fruit in them, and these are dried gourds in this particular dough bowl. And I introduced, last year I had red bulbs in them. This year I decided to have the clear glass bulbs that have a little frosting on it. And there are little tiny sticks that you can see in there. And I found those, I think at like what was it? I think it was like a hardware store. And they're incense, but they smell like pine, but they're very, very thin. And you could put them on the tree, but I decided to just tuck them into these dough bowls, and it also emits that evergreen scent. Because let's face it, even with a live tree like this one is, it seems to lose its scent within a week. You're not really smelling it anymore. So that's when I drag out the candles, put the plug-ins in, put the incense so that it still smells like evergreen a little bit more. So now you know all my tricks on the tree. Let me show you the rest of the living room. Oh, one more idea about the tree. If you're lucky enough to have a mirror or a place that you can put a mirror near the tree, put it behind the tree, because you get double duty of all the lights. When we come down into the living room, it's like you've seen the tree twice because you've got this great reflection in the mirror. So try to use your mirrors that way. It's a great tip. So you can see I like touches of red in my room all year. I've got the red in the pillow, so it's a perfect opportunity to bring red into the living room again. I've got the 3 hurricane lamps that sit on the table year round, but what I do is I pull them apart and I put these small bulbs, really inexpensive, like from the drugstore, in. They're red, they're shiny red, they're satin red, they're glittery gold, they're brushed gold, they're shiny gold. So it just kind of picks up the colors again. You could, if you wanted to, you could fill it with Christmas candies. You could do all sorts of things. Ribbon candies would be cool. It just depends on what your color scheme is in the rest of the room. And I told you that there aren't too many windows that I don't have wreaths on, and this room is no different. I found these dried statice wreaths, and I hang them every year. I don't have drapes in the room, so I hang them every year, and they really, I kind of miss them when I take them down, but it's another pop of red that just kind of unifies the space, says red, says holiday, says Christmas, and it just coordinates everything. Once again, almost like red brush strokes on a canvas, you're looking at your space as a canvas and you're actually painting it. Now, we also got this incredible fireplace here. I mean, it's so big that to be dragging logs in all the time, believe it or not, I've never even made a fire in here, because what I do is I let the birch logs stay in there. I get a couple beautiful swags that have a little glitter on them, and then I put these big candelabra in the back that has all the pillar candles on it. Doesn't throw off much heat, but it gives the same effect. For those of us that are a little lazier and don't want to be entertaining and worrying about talking with people and cooking and tending the fire, it's a nice way to kind of get off the hook, so to speak. But the mantelpiece, anybody that has a mantelpiece knows that Christmas is when you really want to accentuate it. So normally this is totally clear, but at this time of year, I just buy 2 separate garlands. I lay them at the back of the mantle. How easy is that? And then I found these small candle votives. In what color? Guess, red. So I threw those up there. The artificial arrangement on the end and the deer are always here because it picks up this Belgium frieze that I have above the fireplace that has red in it. So in this space, I've got 3 punctuation points of holiday decor. I've got a focus on the tree as you enter the room. As you come down into the room, I've got whatever I decide to do on the coffee table. This year it's the 3 pillar candles. And then you always have the focal point year-round of the fireplace. I add my punctuation points also of red. I've got red here, I've got red here. I even have the tall amaryllis flanking the fireplace in red. So your eye travels around, but it gives your eye a cohesive feeling and a comfortable feeling when you're sitting in the space.